One of the things that's been happening in many cities is a decline in cocaine-related consequences that has everything to do with, I think, less strong cocaine. I mean, it's kind of a function of the purity of cocaine for whatever reason. And then we've also seen an explosion in 2010 and 2011 of these synthetic drug impersonators, things that are synthetic substances that are made in order to get people high, but are marketed as bath salts or plant food or incense, and the online sales of that to kids who've always grown up purchasing anything online is a real challenge too, and what to do about that. But I think this prescription drug abuse problem is really entrenched in our whole medical care system. We see the biggest consequences with opiates because they have high addictive potential, high abuse potential, as well as high overdose potential. But with the stimulant drugs, just the number of stimulants prescribed medically has increased 8-fold in a 20-year period. And we see people using them who are some of our higher achievers. We see people in medical school, people in law school using those. And I think we really have to take a break or have some really concerted public dialogue about where are we going with this, and how are we using behavior modifying drugs in the larger sense of our culture, because it's feeding a lot of addictions out there that just haven't been around due to supply alone. So I think that's how it's different. And clearly, I think with methamphetamine, law enforcement had to jump onto, and communities had to jump on methamphetamine because they were such a threat to public safety. You know, you could be stopped at a stop sign and look sideways and irritate someone who is delusional on meth, and they might shoot and kill you. I mean, and these meth houses and the chemicals going into the water supply, I mean, police and law enforcement had to respond to that. You could not ignore that. And communities all over the state reacted. And then 1993, 4, and 5, I was all over the state talking to a lot of different communities and helping them galvanize about what do you do about methamphetamine. And sure enough, boom, you know, we saw a decline. One of the things there's another fact that speaks to our whole society, and that is that about 85% of our population takes a pill every day for some reason or another. Whether it's a nutritional supplement or a vitamin or a prescription drug, 85% of us take a pill every day, and kids learn at a very young age that if you take a pill, something happens. Kids line up at schools and see kids line up outside the nurse's station at lunchtime to get their medication. They see their siblings take medication. They see their parents or their cousins take medication. So we as a society are really awash in pills, and it creates an impression among some young people that's very nonchalant about pills. Well, if it's a pill, it must be okay. If it's a pill, it must be safe. If it's a pill, it must not be addictive. And those are really not true statements.